Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve.
I'm Lindsay.
Today we're going to be checking out the greatest Britons of all time, based off of a television poll conducted in 2002 by the BBC to determine who the British people at the time considered the greatest Britons in history. I wish I could have found a video about this, but I did find out when I was trying to find this, I found out that the actual original article that the BBC had up has disappeared. It's been taken down for some reason, and I have no idea why.
Although many living people were included among the top 100, all of the top 10 were deceased.
All the top 10 were deceased in 2002, mind you. So a lot of these would be gone for quite a while. Nominees of Guy Fawkes.
Really?
Know him, know who he is. When it comes to greatest Britons, are these people who people love, or they just made a huge impact and sometimes negatively? Well, sometimes the impact would have been negative, right?
What's that word? Notorious.
Yeah, notorious. Oliver Cromwell.
Cromwell. I know the name, but I don't know who he is.
Know of him, and I want to check him out. I know he's obviously a big figure. Don't know really anything about him, to be honest.
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine. Wait, the American founding father? American founding father, yeah, English born. That's interesting that he would be on this list.
Who wrote against the British crown before and during the American Revolution. Yeah, that is weird.
Huh. That one's interesting to me. I want to know why he would be on this list. I mean, obviously he was born in England, right? But like, what was it? What was his huge impact when it come to Britain? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously he had a huge impact on America.
You know what's crazy to me to think about? A lot of, this is kind of a little like side note, but a lot of the founding fathers of the U.S. were like so young. Did you know?
Yes.
They were like early 20s.
Yes.
And some were like 19.
Yes.
And now like... What's going on?
Yeah, that's crazy. I was just thinking about that for some reason not long ago. I don't remember what that was, why that popped in my head. But Diana, Princess of Wales, definitely would have imagined her being on this list. I'm imagining she's probably pretty high up on the list.
Yeah, maybe top 10. Was judged to be a greater historical figure than Isaac Newton, William Shakespeare, and Charles Darwin.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That says something about what the British people thought of Princess Diana.
I mean, the whole world, really.
Yeah. One of the more controversial figures to be included on the list was the occultist Aleister Crowley.
Okay, so the greatest Britons, it must not be, like, most loved.
No,
it must not be synonymous.
It must be the
loved.
most impactful in some way.
Yeah. Like, iconic, good or bad.
Yeah, iconic, and it depending on how you look at him. I mean, some people are going to look at Aleister Crowley as good, and others are going to look at him as bad, depending on how you feel about him. I don't really know a lot about him. I know of him. He is known to be an occultist, obviously, and he's known to be a little bit dark, right?
I thought he was a Satanist, but maybe he's not.
Well, I don't think he was a Satanist. He founded the religion of Thelema, whatever that is, identifying himself as the prophet entrusted with guiding humanity into the Aeon of Horus in the early 20th century. No, I never thought he was a Satanist. I think that he gets that persona because he is known to be, I think to have known to be involved with the dark arts, like stuff like that.
The reason I always thought I always thought he was a Satanist is because his catchphrase, I think, was "Do what thou wilt," which is a big thing in Satanism.
Well, you're probably picking that up from what's his name? That was the founder of the Church of Satan.
And Anton LaVey.
Anton LaVey. You know, I just watched an interview with his daughter like a week ago.
Really?
He did an interview with oh my goodness, I'm losing names. I think I'm mentioning all these names now. I'm losing names out of my head. What's his name? Jordan Peterson.
Oh.
He did an interview with her, and
really, how old is she?
I think she's like in her 60s, 63, I believe.
Oh.
And she is a Buddhist at this point. It was a very interesting interview.
It probably would be.
Yeah, it was.
Sure she had a lot
She was definitely
lot of
different
knowledge
than
on-
what I thought she
Yeah.
would be like. Because I've looked into that to her father a little bit in the past.
Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, we are. But thinking about Aleister Crowley, I've been wanting to kind of do some research on him because he is someone that I've heard of quite a bit, but I don't know a ton about him.
Did you ever hear that conspiracy?
Barbara Bush.
Yes, they
Yes.
their dad.
Yes, there is
They do kind of look alike.
They do.
I gotta be honest.
There is a conspiracy theory that says Barbara Bush, which was the George
Bush's mom.
Yeah, George Bush Sr.'s wife,
Yeah.
was the daughter of Aleister Crowley. Now, obviously, I have no idea, but the resemblance is definitely there.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Very weird, but I don't know where that comes from.
Only 13 of the 100 are women.
Wow.
60 had lived in the 20th century. The highest ranked living
Margaret
person
Thatcher.
was Margaret Thatcher.
Okay, we know who Margaret Thatcher is. We actually looked into her probably 3 months ago or so.
Yeah.
And we know that she is a very loved or hated figure, to say the least.
The Iron Lady?
Yeah, I think it was the Iron Lady. Well, I believe that's it.
Something.
But we knew before we kind of went in that she was a little bit divisive, and we definitely felt that in the comments that half the people seem to love her and half the people hate her. Obviously, we're just on the outside looking in.
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's like no matter what political figure you're looking in, you're going to have. It's not always going to be 50-50, sometimes it'll be 60-40 or something, but usually it's going to be kind of split down the middle in some regard.
Ringo Starr was the only member of the Beatles not on the list. Aww.
That's interesting.
I wonder if he felt burned.
Wait, which one's Ringo? Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Paul McCartney.
Was he the drummer?
I have no idea. That we're definitely going to be checking out the Beatles soon on the Patreon channel. We have not checked them out yet. We definitely want to because Lindsay knows some of their songs. I've probably heard a few because obviously they're very famous. But I really don't know much about them.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about them either.
I think they're a group I kind of want to dive into and learn their history, not just listen to their music, but learn their history as well. But why would Ringo Starr be the only one not on there? Well, who was it? Paul McCartney,
John Lennon,
Ringo
Starr, Paul Harrison.
That for some reason seems familiar. I don't know for sure, but yeah. Paul McCartney is the one that I know, and John Lennon, obviously. And John Lennon is... Do you think John Lennon's the most famous one?
Or Paul McCartney.
He's the one that passed away early, right? John Lennon?
Yeah, he was assassinated.
1980?
He was assassinated.
Yeah.
George Harrison.
George Harrison.
Not Paul Harrison.
Didn't they have one guy who died back in, the 70s or something? Before
I have no
John
idea
Lennon?
about that. I don't know.
Isambard Kingdom Brunel
Isambard Kingdom Brunel
was an English civil engineer and mechanical engineer who's considered one of the most ingenious and prolific figures in engineering history. One of the 19th century engineering giants and one of the greatest figures of the Industrial Revolution. Never heard of him.
He has a memorable name, though.
He does, if you can say it. Occupied the top spot in the polls for some time, thanks largely to students from the university. This is another reason why I wanted to do this, guys, because I thought, we might come across some ideas for people that we
don't know about yet.
We want to explore, look into. So let us know, guys, in the comments, out of all these names we're seeing, what would be the top people you would recommend us looking into their history and their background and whatnot?
Yeah. Who
would be the most influential figures in British history that we should explore? The list. Here we are. Drum roll. Although the BBC's original ranked list has been removed from their web server, what remains is only an alphabetical list of the top 100. Several other sources have preserved the original ranked list. Top 10.
Oh, so this is the full list.
I don't know. It just says top 10. Okay, well, I guess we'll look and see. Top 10. Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill. Prime Minister, historically ranked as one of the greatest British prime ministers, led the nation during World War II when the country defended itself against a planned German invasion. He was an important figure in post-war national and international politics, received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953. Okay, so yes, Winston Churchill is definitely on our list of someone we are going to look deeper into because obviously he was an extremely influential figure in British history.
And mainly the only thing I really know about him, other than he was prime minister, obviously, and very well loved around the world, was that he was good at rallying people, right?
Seemed to be, from the little bit that we know of. And I've seen videos being made. I've never watched any, but like of his, what do you call it? His quotes and stuff. And I like quotes. That might be something we might check out at some point. I like motivational quotes and things.
Like some of the top British quotes.
Yeah, I was talking about specifically Sir Winston Churchill. But yeah, like in general, like, yeah, I love motivational quotes.
Number 2, Isengard Kingdom.
All right. We just heard about him.
Good old IKB.
Good old IKB.
Yeah.
Okay, what does advocate mean? Each person has a person.
I'm thinking the person who like made the final call on where they'd be on the list, maybe.
That doesn't make any sense because it was a poll.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I don't exactly know what that means, but mechanical and civil engineer, designer of the Great Western Railway. Was a British railway company linked London with the southwest, east, and west Midlands of England and most of Wales.
Okay, I feel like that's a topic we need to.
Yeah, that might be something.
Clifton Suspension Bridge, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I have too. I've heard of that. SS Great Britain. So he was the designer of all of these and numerous significant ships, tunnels, and bridges. A prominent figure during the Industrial Revolution, which began in Britain. He revolutionized public transport and modern engineering.
Wow.
He seems like he might be an interesting fella. And some like the Clifton Suspension Bridge, I believe I actually have that on the list to check out at some point.
I've seen that recommended.
Yeah, I think you guys have recommended that before. I love bridges. It's just I find them fascinating. I don't know about you.
I like scenery. So if it's a beautiful bridge with, especially like high up with views, I
personally I find feats, like engineering feats, like that's why I love architecture and these grand churches and cathedrals, and especially when you go back before modern technology and you see some of the stuff that's created, and you're like, how in the world were they able to do that with such, limited, tools and whatnot? So we might have to check him out too. It's got a very memorable name.
Oh, Diana was number 3.
Diana, Princess of Wales. Wait, didn't it say up there were no women in the top 13 or something?
No, I thought it said there were only 16 women out of.
Oh, that's 100. What it was. 13 or 16 women out of. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, she died in 96.
96. She's a member of the British royal family. She was the first wife of Charles III and mother of Princes William and. Princes William and Harry. Her
Did activism. You say princess?
Yeah, I saw princess for a second, but it's princess. Her activism and glamour, which made her an international icon, earned her enduring popularity. We've never looked at her together. I've only looked at I think I looked at a few facts about her or something. I did. I looked at I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a few facts about her life or something. And I'm really curious about what was it that made her so beloved by the British people and the world in general. I know she was loved by people all over the world. And obviously I wasn't paying attention to any of that stuff.
Yeah, I was
at that
very
point.
Young.
And so I'm just really curious about was it that she just seemed like a really good person in general? Was that what it was? And she was just kind?
Seemed kind.
And she did a lot of good works?
Yeah, outreach for different
That's what I got in my head and why people love her so much. Let us know in the comments, guys. But another one, I'm guessing we're just going to have to check out the top 10 at least, because I bet they're all going to be interesting people. Charles Darwin.
I love how we said it at the same time.
biologist, geologist, and naturalist. Originator of the theory of evolution through natural selection, the author on the origin of species. Andrew Marr. Okay, I have no idea what the advocate means. These people all, I think they're probably all alive, or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it had something to do with the list.
must have. I don't know how, but yeah, this is someone I haven't really looked into either.
Other than the brief little bit I learned in school about evolution and
I don't know anything about his history or his life or anything, so guess he'll go on the list too. Don't want to get too long.
William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare.
Yep. That is something. Yes, that we need to get him to read a play.
Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Well, look at you.
I think that would be interesting. Now, like, here's an interesting fact about myself.
He doesn't read. He doesn't know how to read. Just kidding.
No, like an interesting fact about myself. I was extremely good at English. Surprising, right?
He was extremely gooder at English.
I was gooder. I was extremely gooder at English. No, seriously. Like I was very good at specifically writing. You know, and I don't think it's so much that I was good at all the like nuances.
Not grammatical stuff.
Yeah, the grammatical stuff.
The creative process of writing.
The creative process of writing, I was extremely good at. I won lots of awards growing up. I wrote a ton of poetry and songs during my, specifically my teens and my early 20s specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I had this time period of I guess 15 years or so to where I just like poetry and songs
very creative.
I just loved it. It was one of my hobbies. And I was going a lot of that through my teen years. I was in a dark place. So a lot of my poetry was very dark. It was I
feel like that's being a teenager.
I was like Stephen Poe.
Stephen Poe.
I am Steve Poe.
Edgar Poe.
Yeah, Steve Edgar Poe. That's my name. I am Steve Edgar Poe. I never really got into like reading things like Shakespeare and stuff. I think I might find that fascinating to actually read some things like William Shakespeare. Mm-hmm. I think I might find that interesting. I think it would be interesting to actually see like a play live of that. I never have that I know of that I can think of. But yes, I should read some British poetry.
It would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I've never done it. I've never read Shakespeare just to read Shakespeare. I read it for school, obviously. I had to take a British literature class in high school, so I read a lot then, but it wasn't for enjoyment at that time.
Right.
So I feel like I would get more out of it now because I actually am interested in it.
Right.
So
yeah, I agree.
We should do that.
Yeah, we should. Isaac Newton.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Although it's kind of surprising, not really because of who he is, but I guess it's not. William Shakespeare, I started to say the date. I was thinking about like this was so long ago, but I mean, honestly, William Shakespeare was even before him.
Yeah.
But physicist, mathematician, astronomer, theologian, natural philosopher, originator of the universal gravitation and laws of classical mechanics and the laws of motion. It's one of the most influential works in the history of science.
The only thing I remember from school about Isaac Newton was the story about him sitting under the apple tree and the apple falling on his head. And that's probably not even a real story, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's...
Please enlighten me.
That's one thing we all hear in school as a kid. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It could just be a story.
Yeah.
But again, like someone that I really don't know much of anything about.
But that story did make me remember what he did, what he discovered.
Generally,
so
you remembered him as an individual and sort of the fields he was in a way. Yeah. I think that's kind of like how a lot of these older individuals are. I know the very basics of kind of who they are, but I don't know of them. Mm-hmm. And definitely want to explore some of these people. Queen of England and Ireland from 17th November 1558 until her death in 1603. She was the last and longest reigning monarch of the House of Tudor. Her eventful reign and its effect on history and culture gave name to the Elizabethan era. Yes, obviously heard of Elizabeth I. Don't know anything about her again. Another individual we should probably look into.
Yeah.
We got a lot of individuals to look into. I'm kind of excited. There's a lot of these names I'm kind of interested to explore. So,
I'm sorry, I still have a lingering cough.
yeah, that's been going on a while, hasn't it? All right, number 8. John Lennon.
I'm not surprised he's on the list, obviously, but I'm kind of surprised he's in the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I don't know a lot of Beatles music yet, but I do know he's extremely influential in the Beatles in general, and specifically him. He's got that What You Call song they sing every New Year's. What is it?
Oh gosh. Not the Dreamer one, right?
Yeah.
You may say.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Isn't that?
But I'm not the only one. Yeah. They sing that at New Year's?
Don't they?
No, I don't know.
I think they do every New Year's. I think that song is sung. Well, at least you. I think it's the ball drop, New Year's Eve ball drop in New York. I don't know if it's around the world they play this song or anything, but isn't that him? Was that?
Yeah.
That's specifically his song, right?
I thought it was all the Beatles, but
was it?
Not.
I don't know.
We don't know anything about the Beatles.
Yes, that's why we're going to explore the Beatles very soon. Musician, activist, and member of the music group The Beatles, one of the most famous, successful, influential, covered, and admired pop artists of all time, held for his highly personal and experimental music, rebellious, free-spirited attitude, and peace activism.
I just remember about him mainly that those pictures are...
I wanted to say, I wanted to say that Alan Davies, that is the first name out of all the ones over here I recognize.
Oh, you know who he is?
I've never seen his stuff, but I've been told we should check him out.
Really?
Yes. So another person we need to check out.
Anyway, I was going to say the only thing I really know about John Lennon is his relationship with Yoko Ono and how controversial that was for the Beatles. Like, I feel like...
I don't know anything about it. I know of her.
She kind of stirred the pot with their band.
Really?
I think. From what I know...
Number 9.
Horatio
Nelson. Naval commander, famous for his service in the Royal Navy, particularly during the Napoleonic Wars.
His victory during the Battle of Trafalgar was significant in preventing Napoleon's planned invasion of the UK.
All right. Vice Admiral. All right. 1758 to 1805. John Lennon, 1980. That's the year I thought it was. All right, here we go. Who's number 10? Oliver Cromwell.
I kind of wish we could have counted down.
Yeah, that would have been nice, right? Yeah, I wish we could have done that too.
First Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland.
Served as the commander of the New Model Army during the First and Second English Wars. We're just going to say it together.
Battle it out.
Go ahead.
I will submit. I will let you.
No, you can. Do it.
I will let you take charge.
Take the reins, baby. Take the reins. Do it. I want to hear your voice.
Please stop. Served as the commander of the New Model Army during the First and Second English Civil Wars against King Charles I. Though praised by historians for moving the country to a more democratic system of government, Cromwell's nomination was controversial due to his actions during the Cromwellian conquest of Ireland.
All right. Obviously, someone we need to look into. Yes, I will say, let's see. See also...
Only 10.
Okay, well...
Where's the full list?
Okay, I kind of want to... I don't know how long this video is, guys. I don't want to make it too crazy long.
It's probably long.
But I do want to see if I can find... Just even if it's just a list without explaining who they are, to see what other names we know, right? But I'd say so far, top 10, I knew of 8 of these. I knew of 8 of these. I didn't know this man and this guy right here.
I knew 7.
You know, so who didn't you know? Who was the one that you didn't know that I did?
Oliver Cromwell, probably.
You never heard of him?
I mean, I'd heard his name somewhere, probably just because of this channel, but I didn't know who he was. Right. I would have guessed he was like a writer with a name like that.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. All right. Well, I can definitely say that, most of these I'm going to definitely want to check out at some point. But guys, we are going to go see if we can find just a list. I know it probably won't have all this information, and that's fine. We just want to at least see some of the people on the rest of the 100.
Yeah.
So guys, we're going to go ahead and go look for that. All right, guys, we found the top 100 greatest Britons of all time as of 2002, at least.
Yeah.
King Edward I of England, Sir Walter Raleigh. Sir Walter Raleigh.
Why are you so excited about that?
Because, he was... Okay, number one, I'm from North Carolina. He is who our capital city is named after, number one.
That's true.
And he basically, I don't know a ton about him. There's signs up around my hometown about him.
Yeah, that's probably where I know the name from.
That's how I recognize him. We need to look into him. I think
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Know the name, this author. Don't know.
Tolkien.
James Max.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's why I know of him. Okay.
John
Lydon. We just saw his name mentioned.
Johnny Rotten, the Sex Pistols, yeah.
Oh, Johnny Rotten.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know the name John Lydon until today, but I've known the name Johnny Rotten forever. I don't know his music. I know he's the Sex Pistols, but again, I don't know the Sex Pistols.
I didn't know the Sex Pistols.
Another band we're going to explore on the Patreon at some point. Bono. Is it Bono? Is it Bono?
I think it is.
Okay, guys. I don't know. I thought it was Bono.
Okay, so he's Irish.
Irish musician.
Irish?
Yeah. Wait, isn't this the Greatest Britons? Is he? Okay, I don't know. He's Richard Branson.
Oh,
all right.
yeah, so
Richard Branson. Noah Branson, know of his virgin businesses. He had
Virgin Mobile,
Virgin Records,
Virgin Airlines.
Yeah, I think didn't he have a Virgin magazine?
What was his obsession?
I don't know. I have no idea where that come from. But obviously, he's someone I know of. I don't know everything about his history or anything, but I know more about him than I do a lot of the people on the list, right? And I think you do as well. Speaking of U2, before we move on, I don't even know if I've ever heard. I think I've heard like a song. And
I think I've heard "A Beautiful Day," and I am still mad at Apple for like a long time ago, like way back in the day when they first came out with like iPods and all that. They put U2's album on everybody's.
Yes, they did that, didn't they?
And you couldn't take it off.
Get out of here,
and I did not like U2, and I still am not huge. Like, I've only heard like one or two songs, but it's just like I don't want that. I'm like, I want to be able to clean stuff off my devices if I don't like it or I won't use it, and so.
To be fair to U2, I don't know their music.
Yeah, I don't.
I think, like she said, the song you mentioned, "A Beautiful Day," I think I know that song.
It's a beautiful day.
If it's a song I think I know that. I think that might be the only song I know, and it's kind of surprising because I know they're so big, and we're definitely going to have to explore them at some point on the Patreon. But
James Watt,
steam engine developer, J.K. Rowling. Who doesn't know who she is?
Yeah.
Even though I've never read or seen Harry Potter, don't know anything about it really. I know that it's. I don't know. Was Harry a warlock or something? I don't know.
He was a wizard.
Was he a wizard? Okay, I don't know. Is a wizard and a warlock same thing?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'm not like super into fantasy.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm not really into fantasy stuff. So but it's definitely something that I probably should at least give one of the movies a chance at one point because they're so big.
It's just such a
so. We might do that at some point. We might check out a movie. I might even read the book, the first one. I don't know how many. There's a bunch of them, right?
I think there's, I don't know how many, like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I might give it a chance because, like, here's the thing. I when I say I'm not a fan of the like that type of genre of fantasy, I guess that stems from when I was like growing up. I wasn't a fan of it. I haven't tried to be a fan of it as an adult, really. So. Maybe I'd be open to it if I explored it more.
Yeah,
but
You also said it had something to do with the fact, like, when you're reading fiction.
Yes.
I never knew this
That's true.
till, like, a couple weeks ago.
Let me explain that real quick.
There are people who, when they read, do not see in their heads what's happening in the book, which blows my mind.
Yes, like I love nonfiction, but I have a hard time getting interested in fiction books. I am someone, and I didn't even know I didn't know the opposite was true, right?
When I read a book, I literally see it play out in my head like a vivid movie.
Right.
And
when I read a book, I see no pictures at all. I only see the words.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, no wonder you don't want to read.
Right. So you can imagine as if I'm guessing that's probably the difference between people that love fiction and people that don't, because they're probably like you and they see. They're basically have a movie in their head playing as they're reading this book.
And there's like a scale of in between too, but
right.
yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing. I thought everyone just
and that's surprising to me, and it explains a lot why I've never been that interested in fiction, because like I cannot picture anything when I'm reading. I see words on a page. And I read the words, and there's nothing else in my head other than the words.
I don't even know how that's possible.
And so, like, it's probably why now that I think about it, it's probably why I actually had a hard time being interested in a lot of the fiction stuff that they tried to get me to read in an English class. Mm-hmm. But nonfiction is different because you don't need to picture stuff as much.
Yeah, it's more thought.
It's more thought. Ideas. Yes. But I will say it's interesting that I actually am good at creative writing, even though I don't picture stuff in my head like that. I think a lot of people's creativity is in pictures in their heads, but I don't see things like that. It's weird. I see things in numbers and in words, but not in images. It's very, very interesting, guys.
I'm interested in that topic.
Yes, I think that's something I'd like to learn about and research more to see what's going on there, why some people are like that.
Not really for the channel, just
yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with.
I don't know. Some of you guys might be interested in that type of thing. I don't know. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you're
what
like
type of reader you are. Like,
right.
Do you picture? I don't know what the technical terms for it is, but yeah.
If you're like me and don't see pictures when you read, or you're like her and see movies popping in your head, you lucky girl, you.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I think that would be awesome. Like, as someone that doesn't have that, I think that would be really cool. And I can see why you love fiction so much, because like you're like, I love movies, right? I love movies, and I always have. And you love reading just as much as you love watching movies, because you're seeing a movie in your head.
More than.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. The Unknown Warrior. Okay, I can imagine. I can see why he would be on this list.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good gesture.
Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I'd like to
look at some of the old movies.
Yes, we should do that. We should do that. I think that'd be interesting.
George Stevenson,
James Connolly, Sir David Attenborough. Okay, we saw a little bit of David Attenborough, and we can understand why he is.
Yeah, you guys were horrified that we had never heard of him.
Yeah, and I think
we probably literally had heard him. We just didn't know who he was.
Yeah, and plus I will say that, like, he's on all these programs like Nature and Discovery Channel type of stuff, and I never had cable growing up.
Yeah.
Ever. And so those type of channels he would have been on really weren't channels that I got as a kid.
Access to.
Yeah. Maybe PBS. But again, like you said, maybe I'd heard him at some point, just didn't know who he was. Yeah. Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother.
Okay, so she was on the list.
No, that's
61.
No, that's Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. That's the Queen's mother.
Oh.
That's not Queen Elizabeth II.
Okay, well, I bet she's on here too.
I would think so.
She would have to be.
Yeah, Sir Edward Elgar.
Dame Julie Andrew.
Freddie Mercury.
I was wondering if he was going to be on here.
Hold on, I want to take a moment.
Yes.
Love Freddie. We've been doing quite a bit of Queen reactions on the Patreon, guys, and loving Freddie. I sooner or later we plan on doing looking into a documentary or something for Freddie specifically, maybe Queen in general. Love that band. Love Freddie. He was an amazing talent, obviously. Boy George. Okay, that's someone we're going to have to listen to.
I have never heard. I mean, I've heard the name.
Yes, but Culture Club. Okay, Culture Club.
What's Culture Club?
Weren't they famous? Weren't they very popular in the 80s?
It's a band?
Yeah, weren't they extremely popular in the 80s? I swear they were. And I can picture this man's face in my head.
All I can think in my head is Charlie Chaplin. I don't know why. Did he like put makeup on like that?
Yes, I think he had eyeshadow or something. I could be wrong, but that's what I got in my head. I don't know. Anyway, we'll have to check him out.
And you're in Bevan.
Health Information NHS. John Logie Baird.
That's a fun name.
That is a fun name.
It sounds like Yogi Bear.
John Logie Baird. John Logie Baird. I like that name. John Logie Baird.
That's fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. David Beckham. I've been wanting to look at some of the greatest footballers. Mm-hmm. So to see how good they were and whatnot.
Yeah.
He would be someone interesting to look at, I think.
He's married to Posh Spice.
No, I did not know that. Queen Elizabeth II. Okay.
24.
Okay. I'm honestly surprised that she is only number 24.
Yeah.
Same. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I would have at least thought she would have been top 10. I just know that she was so influential, the longest reigning monarch. How could she not be in the top 10?
Yeah.
I don't know. Michael Faraday. Faraday cage? Is he?
Did he create the Faraday cage? I mean, that would make sense.
Alan Turing.
Sir Alexander Fleming. Sir Paul McCartney.
Penicillin.
Sorry. Sir Paul... Alexander Fleming created penicillin.
Yes.
Or discovered it. Sir Paul McCartney. Queen Victoria.
Okay, that's crazy. How is Queen Victoria ahead of Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't looked into Queen Victoria, so I don't know anything about her, but I just know that Queen Elizabeth II is so influential, especially in modern history.
Maybe this is because it was in 2002.
Yeah, she lived another 20 years.
Yeah.
And so
public perception and
yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but a lot can change in that time period.
Yeah, so
to endear someone to you.
Right.
So.
Is that what it is, guys? Is it because that it was in 2002, and if this list had happened in 2022, she would have been higher up on this list, probably. I bet. Yeah. Robert Baden-Powell, Captain James Cook. That'd be interesting.
Cook.
Yeah, Captain Cook.
I'm thinking Captain Hook. I was like, is that the guy in Peter Pan?
Wait,
But that was the guy on Star Trek, right? Captain Cook? Oh, Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk. Oh, man, I'm getting delirious at this point.
A lot of names.
Sir Ernest Shackleton and we've already looked at 10. Okay,
yeah,
we'll look at the rest of these.
10.
All right. Well, guys, this was interesting.
There were a lot on here that I did have heard of.
Right.
That I did have heard of.
Yeah.
That I had heard of, but I mean, obviously there were a lot on here that I don't know.
Yes.
So.
Let us know in the comments what individuals you think are the most influential. Do you agree with this list? You know, obviously, I'm sure you're not going to be able to remember the order of all these people, but specifically the top 10. You know, do you think these people deserve to be in the top 10 compared to other people? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that would say Queen Elizabeth II should be in the top 10, and I'm sure there are some other names in here that some people would probably think need to be moved up as well. But guys, I think this video is probably way too long, and I'm probably going to have to cut so much of this down to get it to even remotely decent length. I don't know how long this is at this point, but guys, we thank you for stopping by today. This was very, very interesting. And
please tell us who you would have put on the list if they're not on there. We'd love to hear some more ideas about top Greatest Britons.
Yes, absolutely. But guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And please hit that subscribe button, guys. We are roughly around 95,000 subscribers as of this moment. Very close to that. And so we're only 5,000 subscribers shy of hitting the 100,000 subscriber mark, which we're super excited about getting to. But I think that's it for us today, guys. Thanks so much. Until next time, peace.
Bye.